Americans lost nearly $21 billion to scams last year, according to the FBI. And here's what should actually concern you. These aren't obvious, badly written scams anymore. They're sophisticated enough to fool careful, financially savvy people, using real psychological pressure tactics instead of the broken English red flags you might remember from years ago. Here are the first 6 scams costing Americans real money right now, how to spot them, and what to actually do if you're targeted. This isn't about making you paranoid of every text and email you get. It's about knowing exactly what to look for, so you can trust your instincts the moment something feels slightly off, instead of talking yourself out of that instinct. 12 scams total, split across 2 parts. Let's start with the first 6. Scam 1. Phishing and smishing, meaning fake texts and emails pretending to be your bank, a delivery company, or a government agency. These messages create urgency. A suspicious login attempt, a package that needs a small fee to be released, a tax issue requiring immediate action. The link inside leads to a fake site designed to steal your login details or payment information. And these fake sites have gotten remarkably convincing, often copying a real company's logo, color scheme, and layout almost exactly. The single biggest red flag is urgency combined with a request to click a link or verify information immediately. Real banks and government agencies do not ask you to click a link to verify your identity under time pressure. That combination of urgency and a link is, by itself, enough reason to stop and verify independently. If you get a message like this, don't click anything. Close the message entirely. Open your bank's official app or website directly by typing the address yourself, and check your account there instead. If there's a genuine issue, it'll show up there too, without you ever needing to trust a link from a text message. Scam 2. Fake tech support scams, where a pop-up, phone call, or email claims your computer is infected and you need to call a number or grant remote access immediately. These often appear as a full-screen warning while browsing, sometimes even playing an alarming sound effect to increase panic. Claiming your device is compromised and personal data is at risk. Once someone gains that remote access, they can steal files, install malware, or directly access financial accounts open on your device. And because you granted the access yourself, it can be harder to even recognize what's happening in the moment. Legitimate tech companies do not proactively call you about virus infections, and real security software doesn't display urgent pop-ups demanding you call a phone number to fix it. If you see this kind of alert, don't call anything and don't click anything. Close the browser entirely, or restart your device if the pop-up won't close, and never call a number provided in a pop-up warning, no matter how official or urgent it looks. Scam 3. Romance scams, where someone builds a genuine feeling emotional relationship online, often over weeks or months, before eventually asking for money. For a medical emergency, travel costs to finally meet in person, or a business opportunity they want you to invest in together. These scams work specifically because trust is built slowly and deliberately before any financial request appears, which makes the eventual ask feel like it's coming from someone you already know and care about, not a stranger. A major red flag is someone who consistently avoids video calls, always has a plausible-sounding reason they can't meet in person, and eventually introduces any kind of financial need into the relationship, however small it starts out. If someone you've only met online asks for money, no matter how genuine the relationship feels or how long you've been talking, treat that as a serious warning sign. Verify their identity independently. A reverse image search on their profile photo is often a fast, free way to check if the account is fake. Scam 4. Investment and cryptocurrency scams, often starting with an unsolicited message about a can't-miss opportunity, sometimes showing fake screenshots of impressive returns from other supposed investors. These scams frequently use fake trading platforms where your money appears to grow at first. You'll often see your balance climbing on the app, which encourages you to invest more. before the platform eventually blocks withdrawals entirely or simply disappears with your funds. The core red flag is any investment promising guaranteed high returns with little or no risk. Legitimate investments always carry real, disclosed risk, and anyone claiming otherwise is either misinformed or lying to you directly. Research any investment platform independently through official regulatory resources before committing money, and be especially cautious of opportunities that came from an unsolicited message, a stranger online, or someone you only recently met. Scam 5. Fake job offer scams, where you're offered a remote position with unusually high pay for minimal qualifications, often communicating entirely through text or chat rather than a real interview process with an actual person on video. At some point, the employer asks you to purchase equipment yourself, pay a training fee, or deposit a check they send you and forward back a portion of it. That check later bounces, leaving you legally responsible for the full amount you already spent. A major red flag is any job that asks you to pay money upfront for training, equipment, or fees before you've even officially started working there. Legitimate employers cover their own onboarding and equipment costs. They don't ask new hires to pay for the privilege of working there, ever, under any circumstances. Scam 6. Gift card scams, where someone posing as a boss, government official, or family member urgently asks you to purchase gift cards and send the codes to resolve some kind of emergency, unpaid fee, or urgent business need. This one specifically works because gift cards are essentially untraceable once the code is shared with someone else. Unlike a bank transfer, there's no way to reverse that payment once it's sent, which is exactly why scammers prefer this method. No legitimate business, government agency, or real emergency is ever resolved specifically through gift cards. That payment method simply isn't how real institutions operate. If anyone asks you to pay in gift cards for any reason at all, treat that specific request as confirmation you're being scammed, regardless of how urgent, official, or convincing the surrounding story sounds. None of these 6 scams succeed through obvious carelessness on the victim's part. They succeed by manufacturing urgency and deliberately exploiting trust, which can genuinely happen to careful, intelligent people under the right pressure. Recognizing the underlying pattern across all of them is what actually protects you, more than memorizing any single scam individually. In Part 2, we'll cover 6 more scams, including some of the newest and most sophisticated tactics using AI voice cloning. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Welcome back. In Part 1, we covered phishing, tech support scams, romance scams, investment scams, fake job offers, and gift card scams. Now let's get into 6 more, including some of the newest and most unsettling tactics scammers are using right now. Scam 7. AI voice cloning scams, where scammers use short audio clips, sometimes pulled directly from social media videos or voicemail greetings, to recreate a family member's voice convincingly enough to fake an emergency phone call. The voice, sounding genuinely like someone you know, claims to be in trouble, often crying or panicked, and urgently needs money sent immediately, frequently specifying an unusual payment method like wire transfer or cryptocurrency. This is one of the fastest growing and most unsettling scams because it exploits genuine panic and love for a family member, bypassing the skepticism you might normally apply to a stranger's request. The technology needed to clone a voice convincingly has become dramatically cheaper and more accessible, which is exactly why this scam has surged recently. If you get a call like this, resist the urge to act immediately, no matter how real the voice sounds. Hang up and call that person back directly using a number you already have saved. Never a number provided during the suspicious call itself, and never a callback number texted to you afterward either. Scam 8. Fake charity scams, particularly common after natural disasters, humanitarian crises, or major news events, where scammers create convincing-looking charity websites or send urgent messages asking for immediate donations. These often use real disaster imagery pulled from legitimate news coverage and emotionally compelling language specifically designed to pressure quick giving without giving you time to research the organization first. The red flag is any charity request that pressures immediate donation without giving you room to verify the organization is real and legitimate. Before donating to any charity you haven't personally heard of before, search for it independently through an official charity verification resource and check its actual registration status, rather than clicking a link from the original message or donating through an unfamiliar payment portal. Scam 9. Elder and grandparent scams, where a caller pretends to be a grandchild in trouble, arrested, in a car accident, or stranded somewhere unfamiliar, and urgently needs money wired or sent through gift cards, often specifically asking the person not to tell other family members about the situation. This scam deliberately targets older adults and relies on panic and love overriding careful, rational thinking in the moment. A genuine emergency involving a family member can always be verified by hanging up and calling another relative directly to check the story. If a caller specifically discourages you from checking with anyone else in the family, that instruction itself should be treated as a major, unmistakable red flag. Real emergencies don't require secrecy from the rest of your family. Scam 10. Fake package delivery scams, where a text claims a delivery couldn't be completed and a small fee is needed to reschedule it, with a link leading to a fake payment page specifically designed to steal your card details. These have become extremely common and effective because so many people genuinely do have real packages in transit at any given time, which makes the message feel entirely plausible rather than suspicious. The fake pages are often visually indistinguishable from real carrier websites at a glance. If you get a delivery text like this, don't click the link under any circumstances. Go directly to the shipping carrier's official app or website by typing the address yourself, and check your actual tracking information there instead of trusting anything in the text. Scam 11. Online marketplace scams, where a seller on a platform like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist takes payment for an item that never actually arrives, or a buyer sends a fake payment confirmation screenshot and asks you to ship the item before the payment has genuinely cleared in your account. These scams exploit the informal, low-friction nature of peer-to-peer selling platforms, where verification often relies on trust rather than built-in protection. Whenever possible, use the platform's own built-in secure payment system rather than moving the conversation to an external payment app. Meet in person for local sales in a safe, public location like a police station parking lot, and never ship an item until a payment has genuinely, verifiably cleared in your actual account balance, not just appeared as a notification. Scam 12. Fake IRS and government agency scams, where someone claiming to represent the IRS or another government agency threatens immediate legal action, arrest, or asset seizure unless a payment is made right away, often specifically demanding payment through gift cards or a wire transfer. These calls can be alarmingly convincing, sometimes using spoofed caller ID that displays a real-looking government phone number. The IRS and other legitimate government agencies do not initiate contact by phone demanding immediate payment, and they never, under any circumstances, ask for payment through gift cards or wire transfers. Any call using threats of immediate arrest or legal action to demand fast payment is a scam, regardless of how official the caller sounds or what number appears on your caller ID. That's all 12 scams covered across both parts. The pattern across every single one of these is the same: manufactured urgency, pressure to act immediately without time to think, and a request that specifically bypasses normal, careful verification. The best defense isn't memorizing every scam individually. It's recognizing that underlying pattern whenever it shows up in your own life, and giving yourself permission to slow down and verify independently before acting, no matter how convincing or urgent something feels in the moment it's happening. Subscribe for more real breakdowns of what's actually happening with money in America right now. Welcome to Part 3, the final batch. We've covered 12 scams so far across the first 2 parts. Here are 6 more, including some of the newest tactics making headlines right now. Plus what actually ties all 18 of these together. Scam 13. Fake toll payment text scams, where you receive a text claiming you have an unpaid toll road charge and need to pay immediately to avoid late fees or legal action, with a link to a fake payment page. This scam surged dramatically recently, specifically because so many people genuinely do use toll roads and easy pass style systems, making the message feel completely plausible rather than suspicious. The messages often use official-sounding language and convincing branding that mimics real toll authorities. The core red flag is the same pattern we've seen throughout this series: urgency, a specific dollar amount, and a link demanding immediate payment. Real toll authorities do not typically send collection texts with direct payment links threatening immediate legal consequences. If you get a message like this, don't click the link. Log into your actual toll account directly through the official app or website to check for any real charges. Scam 14. QR code scams, sometimes called caching, where a scammer places a fake QR code sticker over a legitimate one, on a parking meter, a restaurant table, or a public flyer, or sends one directly in a text or email. Scanning it leads to a fake payment page or a malicious site designed to steal your information. And because QR codes don't show a visible web address before you scan them, they bypass the instinct most people have developed to check a suspicious link before clicking it. This is exactly why they've become an increasingly popular tool for scammers. The format itself hides the destination until it's too late. Before scanning any QR code in a public place, look closely for signs of a sticker placed over the original. And after scanning, always check the web address that loads before entering any payment information, treating it with the same suspicion you'd apply to any unfamiliar link. Scam 15. Fake rental and apartment listing scams, where a listing for an attractive property at a suspiciously good price asks for a security deposit or first month's rent before you've actually toured the property or met a real landlord in person. Often, the photos are stolen from a legitimate listing elsewhere, and the landlord always has a convenient excuse for why they can't meet in person, frequently claiming to be out of the country or dealing with a family emergency. The financial loss here can be substantial, sometimes thousands of dollars, and the emotional cost of losing a place you thought you'd secured adds real damage on top of that. Never send money for a rental you haven't toured in person or verified through a real, licensed leasing agent, and be especially cautious of any listing priced noticeably below comparable properties in the same area. Scam 16. Subscription trap and free trial scams, where a genuinely appealing free trial requires your card details up front, then silently converts into a recurring paid subscription that's deliberately difficult to cancel. Some of these operate as legitimate businesses using intentionally confusing cancellation processes rather than outright fraud, while others are more deceptive from the start, using dark patterns specifically designed to make cancellation feel nearly impossible. The pattern to watch for is any free trial that requires full payment information up front rather than truly free access, combined with vague or buried information about when and how much you'll actually be charged. Set a calendar reminder before any free trial ends, and periodically review your bank and card statements for small recurring charges you don't immediately recognize, since scammers and shady subscription services often deliberately keep charges small enough to go unnoticed for months. Scam 17. Fake bank fraud alert scams, where a text or call claims suspicious activity was detected on your account and asks you to verify your identity by confirming card details, your PIN, or a one-time passcode sent to your phone. This one is particularly dangerous because it often arrives right after you've made a real purchase, making the timing feel like a legitimate coincidence rather than a targeted attack. No real bank will ever ask you to read back a one-time passcode over the phone or text. That code exists specifically to confirm actions you initiate yourself, not to verify your identity to someone who called you. If you get a message like this, hang up or ignore the text. Then call your bank directly using the number printed on the back of your actual card to check if anything is genuinely wrong. Scam 18. Fake prize and lottery scams, where you're told you've won a lottery, sweepstakes, or prize you never entered, but need to pay a processing fee, tax, or shipping cost up front to receive it. This one persists because the promise of unexpected money is genuinely exciting. And that excitement can override the obvious logical red flag that a real prize never requires you to pay money to receive it. Legitimate lotteries and sweepstakes never ask winners to pay any fee up front. Winnings are either delivered directly or fees are deducted from the prize itself, never collected separately in advance. If you're told you've won something you don't remember entering, and any payment is requested before you receive it, that's not a prize. It's a scam every single time, without exception. That's all 18 scams across this series. If you take away one thing from all three parts, let it be this. Every single scam we've covered relies on the exact same core tactic: manufactured urgency paired with a request that specifically discourages you from slowing down to verify. Scammers don't need you to be careless. They just need you to feel rushed for 30 seconds. The single best habit you can build starting today is simple. Whenever something feels urgent and asks for money, information, or a click, pause and verify independently before you act, no matter how convincing or official it seems in the moment. If this series helped you, that's exactly why we made it. Give this video a like if you found it useful. Drop a comment letting us know which of these 18 scams surprised you the most, or if you've encountered one yourself. And subscribe for more real breakdowns of what's actually happening with money in America right now. There's a lot more where this came from.